Good morning. Here's what we got coming up today. Ellis Park, 6 stakes races on the schedule, 5 of them completing that late pick 5, including the Ellis Park Juvenile. The Hall of Famer Steve Asmussen, 2 runners entered, Papa Ken and Spice Runner. We'll talk about which of those we fancy more.
Ellis Park Derby featuring Admiral Dennis, a horse that found his way on the Derby trail last year for trainer Brad Cox, but this horse kind of reset it, coming off of a sharp win in the Delaware Derby.
And Alpine Princess breaking from the rail at 2-1 on the morning line in the Groupie Doll Stakes. It's a salty group of filly and mare sprinters. We could see a Breeders' Cup contender emerge from the Groupie Doll. And that's what we have going on today on FanDuel TV. Curtis Kalleward, the Sergeant Nick Hines. Pleasure as always, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Got a huge day of racing. We talk about 6 of them at Ellis Park, 6 stakes races. We have a stakes at Monmouth Park. We also have the Sorrento Stakes at Del Mar.
Yeah, tremendous day, another tremendous day here on this wonderful Sunday. Hopefully a winning day for many of you to get it started. I'm happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to that Ellis Park card. And Admiral Dennis, obviously, in that Ellis Park Derby, going to be the focal point.
We got plenty more coming up here on FanDuel TV. We've got live coverage out there at Ellis Park. We'll check in with Anthony Pascal in a little bit. Let's see what's on tap full on today for Ellis Park Derby Day. I mentioned 6 stakes races, starting in race number 4, the Ellis Park Debutante for the 2-year-old fillies. And in race 6, that's going to start the 50-cent all-stakes late pick 5, the Ellis Park Juvenile, the Cowboy Jones Stakes, the Ellis Park Derby, the Groupie Doll, and ending with the Audubon.
Yeah, there is certainly a nice group of horses assembled for today's card, and we're going to get those changes here momentarily. Hopefully we're dealing with, a fast track. The turf course has been on point, but, in reference to Steve Asmussen, as you pointed out, in the Ellis Park Juvenile going 7/8 of a mile, Papa Ken made a eye-catching move as the freshman sire Yaupon, who is atop the list currently, a $160,000 2-year-old in training purchase earlier this year for Ken Reimer, draws the rail. This horse was pretty fortunate to draw 7 of 8 on debut. So the question is, can this horse, make a move from that inside slot? Comport, Eddie Keneally. This one certainly came out running on debut June 1st, a son of Collected who stands at Airdrie. Did come back to run a very good second to Romeo. Many looking forward to that one, who came back in a sale there in July at Phasig and sold for a pretty penny.
Yeah, it was quite a pretty penny indeed. And I see your check mark next to Spice Runner there. Steve Asmussen, we talked about S2, Papa Ken, and Spice Runner. Brian Hernandez doesn't ride often for Steve, but he's got them out for Papa Ken. Keith James is riding Spice Runner. He's coming on the same race as Comport at the Bashford Manor. He was kind of speed and faded off quite a bit.
Well, he ended up at 9-2, and clearly when you look at that particular race, Comport was essentially at the same price. I'm going to look at that as a one-off. This horse drew the rail that particular day and was kind of sent into contention. I'm not sure Spice Runner necessarily wants to be rushed and kind of pushed into. I think the bottom line is going 7/8 of a mile today could make a huge difference. But this is your Bashford Manor dating back to June 29th. As we pointed out, Comport, who was your runner-up, and Spice Runner Long Strider finishing way back.
And that is Romeo on the front end with the white blaze. It's going to pull away. Yeah, I'm with you. I also like the Spice Runner. They tried blinkers last time out, and off of that dull effort, they didn't take the blinkers back off him. So right. the blinkers helping the son of Gun Runner, a homebred for Winchell Thoroughbred. So looking for an improved effort today with Keith James aboard.
It's curious. You point out the fact the blinkers remain on. I'm fine with that. I think a lot of it just had to do with, I think the most difficult thing to do with a young horse is when they break their maiden first time out, it's that second start and they're thrown right into stakes company. Right. It's the most difficult step, I think, in the form cycle. But fact the blinker's still on, you're drawn effectively, you might get some value there.
That's coming up in race 6, start of the 50-cent late pick 5, but that's later on.